sweating. In The Sims Bustin' Out. Child abuse in Dragonball Z Budokai 2. And flipping over Splinter Cell Pandora tomorrow. Protect yourself. It's game time. Warning, do not attempt to feed your co-host, Adam Sessler, at Morgan Webb.
Yeah, because then we'd be satisfied. Hello and welcome to X-Play.
On today's show, we have The Sims with a new twist.
And a hint of wine. Plus, we put our lives on the line to review Dragonball Z Budokai 2.
We're very brave. And to go with that review, more angry email from Dragonball Z fans who hate us.
Plus, we showcase great games you can get for under 20 bucks.
And on top of that, Sam Fisher is back, and we have a trailer for the new Splinter Cell game. But we kick things off with The Sims Bustin' Out.
Do they bust out of your chest like an alien and then run around whining if you don't feed them?
Yes, Adam, that's exactly what they do. Here's our review of The Sims Bustin' Out for the GameCube.
Oh, hey!
They're back! Love them or hate them, there's a new breed of Sims in town, and this time they're busting out. They eat, sleep, rock out and dance, love, and... Yes, they will still whine if you don't give them what they need. The Sims Bustin' Out sticks pretty much to the traditional Sims formula, and it doesn't get easier, folks, meaning your Sim will spend a lot of time doing this. Which means you'll be doing this while your Sim is sleeping or at work. Sims Bustin' Out pays less attention to buying, building, and decorating than previous Sims games. There are more defined goals, like inviting your lover to your house. Here is my lover. I just like saying that. My lover. Even Adam got a little something in Simland. Apart from being a bit metrosexual, it kind of looks like Adam, doesn't it? Well, I couldn't get the hair perfect, so he'll have to settle for the boy band look. Anyways, the backstory is that you've got to move out of your mom's house and build a career. That's a tough one for my little Adam Sim because he likes the comforts of home. Oops. Oh, don't cry, you little wimp. Now, if the structure of the goals leave you feeling bogged down, simply, as the title suggests, bust out and play the free mode. It's just like the original gameplay. The GameCube version also allows you to connect with the GBA, and you can move your Sim to the GBA Sim world and take advantage of GBA gameplay features, like mini-games allowing you to make more simoleons. Whatever simoleons or physical traits you achieve in the GBA can be transferred back to the GameCube. And here's another thing about Sims Bustin' Out. The game requires a whopping 161 blocks of save game space. So if you want to play, you're gonna have to buy a new memory card. The variety and new options in The Sims Bustin' Out is an improvement to previous Sims titles and should not disappoint the fans of the franchise. However, if the thought of cleaning up virtual garbage and keeping your Sim healthy isn't your idea of a good time, then steer clear. We give The Sims Bustin' Out a 3 out of 5.
Anyway, the game is out on all 3 consoles, but if you buy Bustin' Out on the GameCube, there are a whole lot of extras.
For starters, it has an unlockable multiplayer mode where you and a buddy can simultaneously control 2 Sims at once.
Plus, if you have a Game Boy Advance, there's also a Sims Bustin' Out for the GBA that can be linked to the GameCube.
How does that work?
Well, they can find out in our review of The Sims Bustin' Out for the GBA.
Okay, here's The Sims Bustin' Out for the GBA, and while it shares the same name as its PS2, GameCube, and Xbox counterparts, it's a completely different game. First of all, you have direct control over your Sim, instead of using the point-and-click interface of the PC and console versions. That makes it much easier for me to move Adam around on foot, or on his scooter. And here's the closest rendition of Adam. Yeah, it doesn't really look like him, but we'll do a little X-Play tweaking over here in the corner. The Sims for the GBA is more goal-oriented. Ultimately, these goals, like making friends or delivering items, will get you moving up from your humble beginnings in a farm. I feel a bad joke coming on. Hey, Adam, were you born in a barn? Anyways, from the farm all the way to a mansion. Adam's not there yet, but I have no doubt he'll get there someday. Well, maybe never. The pain of keeping up your Sims' physical needs is still here. Frankly, this wouldn't be The Sims without it. He's such a whiner. Okay, Adam, it's time for you to go to the bathroom. Oh yeah, and when he moved out of the barn, he got a roommate. A girl roommate. What a perv. Oh, and be careful of the town's Velocirooster. If he catches you... you end up in the hospital. There are also a variety of mini-games that give you a little income boost, like mowing the lawn, fishing, bartending. Yeah, Adam likes that one a lot. I like the interactions with the other Sims. On the GBA, it works like a little dialogue tree. Pick the right answer and your friend meter will go up. Pick the wrong answer and...
Friendly kiss, Lottie? How about a hug? Oh. Kiss me, I'm drowning, sugar. I've always wanted to kiss a rock and roll girl. From a distance, you look like a wad of taffy. Oh. I hear rich girls are hot kissers.
You get the point. The visuals mimic The Sims pretty well, within the confines of the GBA hardware. Unfortunately, you can't link your GBA Sim to the GameCube version, but you can send your GameCube Sim to the GBA. Overall, The Sims Bustin Out for the GBA is pretty darn cool. It's a great game for those who don't necessarily like The Sims, but it's also one that should appeal to fans of the series. We give it a 4 out of 5.
So, when you transfer your GameCube Sim onto the GBA, you can automatically unlock all the mini-games in the handheld console.
Or you can link your Game Boy to someone else's and trade items. The GBA version even has a private island you can only visit if you link cables with a friend. Then you hop into a secret motorboat for a romantic getaway.
So do you want to link cables with me and we can go to Paradise Island? You know, just as friends. Just friends.
All right, but as long as you promise your Sim won't pee in the boat.
I can't promise that.
Coming up, 6 great games under $20 for cheap bastards like you.
I just wanted to share a quick Pokken story with you. When I first got to the network, I was most excited to meet him. I had played his Forest Adventure games, and I wanted nothing more than to shake the panda's hand. But he was a complete diva. He was throwing chairs around. It was just an awkward series of events that made me hate that panda forever.
Drop your weapons and come out with your hands up. It's Adam Sessler and Morgan West.
Welcome back to X-Play.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Mr. Sessler, surely your career as an expanded cable personality in select markets allows you to lead a life of wealth and privilege. In truth, I live in my parents' basement on a Murphy bed.
Okay, in other words, Adam here is as broke as everyone else. So when he's not cooking beans with hobos in an alley, he's scrounging around to the bargain bin at his local video game store.
That's right. So many good games tanked in the past couple of years that it's a virtual smorgasbord for tightwads like myself. And now we here at X-Play are passing the savings on to you. Here's a look at 6 great games for cheap.
For those of you overwhelmed by the high price of games these days, X-Play is proud to present Games for Cheap Bastards.
We start our roundup with a couple of games with tiny prices for the largest console around, the Xbox. Panzer Dragoon Orta. Like a few other games on this list, it suffered from an underwhelming popular response when it hit the market. Bad for Microsoft, good for cheap bastards everywhere. This Dragon-tastic title is now available for less than $20. Not all cheap games were neglected as children, though. In late 2002, Splinter Cell raised the bar for stealth gaming and made millions of gamers very, very happy. If you were not one of those gamers, good news! You can now sneak this game out of the store for a fraction of the original price. 2/5 to be precise. The PS2 has been around longer and sold more games than both of the other consoles. So there's no dearth of games that have found their way into the hearts and hands of cheap bastards everywhere. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, another great game in a cold, cruel world. Of the many platformers for the PS2, this is by far the best one starring a larcenous raccoon. It's a mix of stealth and pure jumpy smashy goodness, and a real steal at under 20 bucks. As for Kingdom Hearts, we knew from the start that any joint venture between Square and Disney would be cute. We didn't know that it would kick this much animated booty, and now it's kicking it for less than the price of a meal for $5 at Burger King. Despite being the cheapest console on the block, the GameCube has the smallest supply of budget games. But you cheap bastards aren't left totally out in the cold. What do you get when you cross an RTS, The Sims, and mutated radishes, and then filter it all through the genius of Shigeru Miyamoto? The ultra-quirky Pikmin. As a space traveler trapped on an alien world, you have 30 days to repair your ship or die. Luckily, you have the help of a whole slew of Pikmin. Are they vegetables? Are they mindless communist hordes? We don't know, but they're going for about $1 a blobby head. Our last game gets the award for fastest plummet to the bargain basement. Beyond Good and Evil is a gorgeous game full of inventive gameplay. It also sold like crap over the holidays. When great games go bad like this, it makes us cry. And we're crying all the way to the bank. There you have it. 6 amazing fun-filled games that we'd be happy to spend 50 bucks on. Lucky for all you cheap bastards out there, now you don't have to.
Okay, now we have the brand new trailer for the Splinter Cell sequel from Ubisoft.
And why are we so excited? Well, for starters, Splinter Cell was one of the best Xbox games of 2002. It was one of the best games of 2002.
Yeah, now the graphics were amazing and it used incredibly realistic lighting.
Plus, if you were caught, you couldn't just fight your way out solid snake style. It really punished you for screwing up and was amazingly challenging.
Now there's a sequel. It's called Pandora Tomorrow. And this time around, Sam Fisher has some new moves and some new online options. Here's the trailer.
New move.
In Pandora Tomorrow, Sam Fisher will be able to hang from the ceiling and flip off walls. But the best new feature is an online multiplayer mode for all 3 consoles.
All 3 consoles, you say? How was such a thing possible?
Well, rumor has it that it's going to work with the GameCube's broadband adapter.
Plus, a lot of the game will take place outdoors, which comes as a huge relief for fans who might be a little sick and tired of sneaking Sam through indoor industrial complexes and, those long, shiny hallways.
Yeah, and the best news is that Pandora Tomorrow will be out early this year.
Yay! Okay, change the subject. What the hell happened to this PS2? Look at that.
Well, it kept breaking down. It wouldn't read discs, so I had to take matters into my own hands, the only way I knew how.
How?
Morgan Strikes Back.
Damn disc read error. Read this.
Morgan Strikes Back.
Wow, that was really abrupt.
I have a short attention span. Must be all the violent video games I've been playing.
Hey, instead of shooting your PS2 with an automatic weapon when it has disc read errors, why not visit our website?
TechTV.com/TechPlay.
Where we have our helpful PS2 fix.
Yes, if you have a disc read error, we'll show you how to get your PS2 up and running in no time, without resorting to heavy arms fire.
Good. Stick around. We will be back. You don't have guns, do you?
Up next, when fanboys attack in Dragonball Z Budokai 2. Ahora transmitido en español es Adam Plessler y Morgan Webb.
We're multicultural. Yay. Welcome back to X-Play.
Now, Adam and I, like many people living in these turbulent times, are afraid of a lot of things. Super flu, for one.
Premature aging.
Terrorism.
Dragon Ball Z fans.
Yes, the Dragon Ball fans are often our harshest and least literate critics. Well, today, we once again open ourselves up to a barrage of hostile email as we review a brand new Dragon Ball Z title.
Yeah, get ready. Here's a review of Dragon Ball Z, Budokai 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming!
Though you probably expected distinct big boobies, are we still allowed to say boobies? Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 actually isn't half bad. For a game based on an aging cartoon series, it actually manages to get a couple of things right.
Which fighters will we see? The excitement is mounting!
Firstly, its gameplay is actually tight and surprisingly accessible. Just don't expect no fighting game science. Secondly, it looks very faithful to its source material.
You've got some nerve not calling him Master Frieza.
Lastly, I'm dry.
Hey, come on, fight me right!
Well, two positive things ain't bad. As far as the single-player game goes, it is fairly inventive and interesting.
Not bad.
Playing Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 is pretty. The rules stay the same. Shoot out crazy projectiles. The choice of characters include midgets, this dude with the crazy hair, and the little green guy who looks like a possessed kazoo. You can punch and kick too, and string attacks into more complex combos. But you'll find that it isn't really necessary. Come on, you've seen the cartoon. It's all about the mega explosive projectiles. You'll occasionally get locked up with your enemies, during which time you'll have to mash the buttons like crazy to come out on top. But at the risk of sounding like a broken record, it's usually all about the projectiles. One of the cooler things about Budokai 2 is that after especially hard-hitting attacks, the environment itself will often respond. Hey, aren't there child cruelty laws against this sort of thing? The single-player game itself is actually kind of interesting. It's basically a board game in which you travel around a bunch of maps based on the series locales, fighting all kinds of enemies. But many of the sequences have you fighting the same enemy over and over. And if your attention span is anything like most Dragon Ball Z fans, then you're going to want to maul your TV after a couple of hours. There's no doubt about it. Budokai 2 is one for the fans. While the fighting is more than halfway decent, it's too shallow and strategically repetitive.
That's enough!
Aw, man, this is so embarrassing.
X-Play gives Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 a 3 out of 5.
Okay, that's all for today.
People, before you send the hate mail, a 3 out of 5 is not a bad score.
Doesn't matter, they're still gonna send the hate mail.
Yeah.
Now, you don't believe me? We have a little sampling of some of the whimsical fan mail the Dragon Ball Z boys sent us when we gave the first Dragon Ball Z Budokai a 2 out of 5.
Okay, letter number 1 from Troy in Rector, Arizona.
Rector. He writes, "You furs, I really like, but what you said about Dragon Ball Z, I felt like kick you ass. Do you know what you dice about the game made me cry? Holy crap."
I don't know.
I mean, you can't accidentally spell that badly, Troy. Now, if our negative review made you felt like kick you ass and cry, maybe a fondness for Dragon Ball Z is the least of your problems.
And moving on to email number 2 from Jerome in Moreno Valley. He writes, DBZ fans will destroy you. I mean, at least he keeps it short and sweet. There's real beauty in its simplicity.
Yes, Jerome, congratulations. You've taken the vague threat and made it in art form.
Now, our final email is from The Great Guru.
Ooh.
He writes, hey, you guys need to shut up, Adam and Morgan. You should not be reviewing DBZ games. You guys are so anime illiterate, it's not even funny. You only give it a bad score because you know freaking nothing about it. It's Saiyan, you dumbass.
That was just lovely. I like the way you read
Thanks.
it. You really, you
I
could feel
had the
passion.
emotion, yeah.
Okay, a few points, Guru. Knowledge of the anime has little or absolutely nothing to do with being able to recognize Budokai's being a bargain basement attempt at a shoddy fighting title.
Okay, now as to the Scion matter. When you Romanize Japanese, something spelled S-A-I-Y-A-N is pronounced Scion.
Now, for some reason, the people dubbing the show into English decided to make it Saiyan.
But frankly, I just have to ask you, who the hell cares?
You know, I want the time we spent talking about that. I want those 30 seconds back. Okay, third point. Not knowing that DBZ does not indicate a lack of anime familiarity. Only good taste. But thanks for watching.
Yeah. Yep. If you'd like to send us hate mail, feel free to visit us at techtv.com/xplay. You know, we have message boards there. You can find our email address there.
And you can also find some really other nifty things out there.
Like what?
There's Sexy Beach 2, and there's outtakes from the show when Morgan and I make mistakes, which you probably can't believe that we actually do, but
Yeah.
I do have the capacity to screw
we
things
do.
up. All right.
Do you want to just give up on the Dragon Ball Z thing?
Yeah, but if you're really quiet, I think you can hear them. Yes, they're starting to scream. It's getting louder.